Today, I am honored to welcome an extraordinary leader, creative visionary, and global force for change, Sybil Steele. Sybil is the co-founder and CEO of Repegs, a local perks and payment platform. She's also the co-founder of Seau Prima skincare and Solento organic tequila. Named a woman to watch in tech, Sybil premiered Mothers of the Atlas at the United Nations, using storytelling and technology to spotlight maternal health care around the globe. She's lived and worked in Tokyo, Paris, Bali, Australia, and across the US, and she brings a deeply international lens to every brand system and movement she touches. As a director and storyteller, she's led transformative projects like The Gift of Robin Lim and 100 Wells for Ethiopia. And she's been at the forefront of major International Women's Days campaigns, advocating for systemic change. Beyond business, Sybil is the mother of two incredible young women and a fierce champion for global women's empowerment. Celebrate voices and build companies that create lasting, meaningful impact. She's had a first look at my new book, and I could not be more excited to have this conversation. Let's dive in. Hi, Sybil. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to have you here.
Thank you, Aimee. I was just saying, where have you been my whole life?
Oh, where have you been my whole life? Yeah. I can't wait to do a million things with you.
Let's do it.
There's so much to do. We have a lot of work to do as women right now.
We do, and I'm here for it. So
yeah. So grateful to meet you in person and get to have this conversation with you. Let's start with your journey. Will you tell me you're the founder and CEO of Repegs, and you've also launched Solento Tequila and S'eau Prima skincare. So can you walk me through how you did each of these brands? Like, how did they come to life? What connects with them?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Like you, I have been in film and media production. I was in that for 20 years. And a lot of what I did was fashion photography and filmmaking and women's documentaries and highlighting women's issues. And I was always in service to women and always trying to elevate women, whether it was in photography through the female gaze, as opposed to through the, the male lens of shooting women, and other films where we could highlight women's work, which we had just talked about, highlighting women's work. And so for many years, I was in, service, and basically that was my product. And eventually in 2017, I moved into product, which is the Solento Tequila and the S'eau Prima. The S'eau Prima skincare, it's really a powerful face mist. Our body makes it from our white blood cells. It's made from hypochlorous acid.
Cool.
And it repairs and defends our skin, but it's all natural. So I started using it as skincare. And because I was such a busy mom of two, and I was running two companies and I was running the household, I started using it and my skin was just had like a full glow up. I didn't have time to go and do the lasers and all the things. And so I was like, I'm just going to use this, run and gun, get my stuff done, accomplish my goals. And so I brought it to a premium skincare line that I launched in 2021. And for me, it's easy. It's on the go. It's powerful. We say powerful beauty within. It's all about celebrating the uniqueness of women and activating ourselves. And then the Solento Tequila is with my ex-husband. He runs the day-to-day, but as I don't know if you drink tequila, but tequila is one of the cleanest.
When I drink, it's the only thing I drink when I drink. I rarely drink, but when I do, it's tequila, and organic tequila. It's like on point for me.
It's, no calories, no sugar, it's organic. And women are 80% of our consumer buying decisions. A lot of women are drinking tequila. So it was a natural fit to also kind of speak to the female audience who really would appreciate this product. And Repegs is all about community. And as you know, women are at the forefront of building community and really being the communications and the liaisons and the word of mouth for everyone. So Repegs came about by nurturing and cultivating community and bringing everybody into, create success together. How can we support each other?
Yeah. Tell me, I think Repegs is like the most abstract of the things that you're working on right now. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about this, how Repegs works and how it helps to build community.
Yeah, so it's an app. Yeah. And basically there's a digital wallet in it, and you pay different merchants through it. So it can be anyone from restaurants to spas to, your local surfboard shop to a masseuse, or anyone who's a local merchant is allowed to come on the app as a business. And what it does, it connects you with all the locals. So each county gets their own Repegs app. Cool. And we launched in San Diego about almost a year ago. and they get access to special offers, curated experiences, things that you normally don't get to see or find in the community. And what it does, it creates a stronger relationship between the locals and the merchants.
I love that.
And, you might save on something, and then part of that savings goes to a local charity. So all the money stays in the local economy, and 67 cents of every dollar spent usually stays in the local economy, spent at local merchants, right? So
that's awesome.
We're encouraging people, don't shop on, the big corporations. Like, let's really support the merchants. They need our help now more than ever.
Supporting small businesses.
Mm-hmm. And locals are what keep small businesses
Yeah.
afloat. So we're really encouraging that and just trying to strengthen the relationships, elevate everybody in innovative tech ways where we can do exchanges economically. And yeah, it's really going well. And we're launching in outside of Boston next Wednesday. So we're expanding, and we're going to expand into different markets nationwide.
Cool. When will you be in the OC?
Whenever, call it next week with you.
Cool. Okay, let's get it done. We're so ready for this here. I love the idea of keeping our money local in our local economy and helping to support our small local businesses. Because really, as the world and technology rolls on, it's hard to support your local businesses because the big ones are getting so much market share right now. We're spending so many of our dollars with the big guys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I had to stop completely. And it's hard, right? Because it's convenient.
Oh, very.
And what might not be convenient is going to a local merchant, but they need our help. So if you can just make that effort, we try and make it as easy as possible. Communications-wise, digitally, we have like a hyper-focused notifications, local notifications that go out to people. And 93% of our users say that they're discovering new places on the app. So, if you wake up on a Friday morning, you're like, where do I want to go to dinner tonight? But I don't want to go to the same place I've been going. You just scroll through, you see what's available, you see that synergy between, they're saying, hey, we support the locals, come and, support us, and let's have that symbiotic relationship.
And that's what's cool about the app, because like you said, it's a combination of like Venmo meets Instagram.
Yep.
So it really does have this social media aspect to it, where you're people can post pictures and you can really get a local flavor, visually of what's going on around you, which is so cool.
Yeah, because you're going to see that post in Instagram. Yeah. Really, it's going to get lost in the algorithm. And is that what you're looking for,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think it's so cool. I actually really, just got to take a look at it, and I think it looks awesome. Super proud of you. Good job.
And I know you have a background in tech, so
I do.
You probably clearly understand it's scalable. Mm-hmm. It's something that, can benefit people in a really impactful way, and there's purpose. And it's been one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had.
It's really neat to see women coming into the apps and to the technology space. It's really, really exciting for me, because when women bring their creativity to business, it's usually to improve the world in some way.
Yeah.
And it's so lovely
There's
to
a lot
see
of purpose and
the
heart
purpose.
in it.
Yeah. Good job. Love that.
I can't wait to get Orange County on it.
Thank you so much. So you've had a career rooted in brand building, strategy, and creative leadership. How do you approach launching something new in a way that feels both aligned and impactful?
Well, I guess that comes from like the origin of where the product comes from anyway, right? So I feel like the alignment has to be there in order to launch a product, in terms of, do I like this? Do I need it? Do I see value in it? Does it bring value to other people? So the alignment is, I've never created a product that I didn't believe in, or offer a service that I didn't believe in, or figure out a way how I could elevate or position women within that ecosystem or in that world that we're building. So alignment has to be there. And then what was the other part that you asked? Impact.
Yeah.
And I think always building something that's going to have impact, right? Because profit's great, and you have to have that in business. But for me, everything that drives me is purpose. Like, why are we doing this? How does this help people? How does it help community? Who's going to love this? Who does this bring joy to? It brings me joy. Who else is like me who wants to see something like this? So
I love that.
Yeah. And like with Seau Prima, when people are like, oh my gosh, this fixed something on my skin, or I've been dealing with this skin issue for years, and it helps to alleviate that problem, and you see the joy in people, it's like, that's exactly why it was created, because it helped, it helped other people and myself with so many skin issues. So
I love
There's a
that.
lot of
I think this is the way women approach business in general. Is we come as problem solvers.
Yeah.
And on the products that we bring forward solve problems.
Have you heard of the contrast between the masculine economy and the feminine economy?
No, please tell me.
Yeah, there's this kind of framework of like what are the values in a masculine economy, what are the values in a feminine economy, and then they're opposites. So if you look at this wheel, I'll send it to you. If you look at this wheel, they're opposites of each other. And not to say that the masculine economy and the feminine economy can't merge and mix like anything that's, higher value.
Probably
equal.
bring balance to the world.
Right.
If we had an equal balance of those two scales.
Is there collaboration or is it merit based, right? But how can you merge that? And is it abundance or is it scarcity? So those kind of things, it's like, how do you go? Yeah, we might have some limitations here, but actually there's enough for everybody here. There's enough in the pie. So that's kind of, I try and, build things through that lens and companies and teams through that lens of the feminine economy. We've got the masculine economy. It's totally embedded in everything that we do. So how do we bring in more of that collaboration and abundance and communication?
Absolutely. So aligned on this. So aligned. That's so much about what the book is about, bringing, right now, I think it's something very sad. I think female-led companies get 3% of all capital. If we're watering 97% of men's ideas and 3% of women's ideas, how can we have balance on the planet?
Yeah. We really work for that balance.
Yeah. And I really feel
a long way to go.
This is the fourth industrial revolution. This is my call to action. It is women. We have to take a seat at the table. We need to be equals so that we can bring balance, in the way that we see the world and the way that we bring purpose to the things that we do and the products that we create, how we're always thinking about how this will impact the next 7 generations, how this will impact our families, our children. We're not just trying to make money. We care. We have about impact. And we care about purpose.
And money comes with purpose, right?
Yes, it does.
If you're fulfilling your purpose and you're making smart business decisions, it comes.
It's a byproduct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a byproduct.
By the way, congratulations on your book.
Thank you so much.
Which just launched today. And I feel so honored to be with you and that energy of launching your book and that it went #1 on Amazon.
Thank you.
Today that it launched. So
thank you so much.
I feel really grateful to be here in basking in your glow and hard work.
I am so grateful to have you here today. I feel like the universe, it has conspired in many ways. And I feel like us being together and having this conversation today is very much a big part of that. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a very big community that will hover around this idea, this movement, this idea of, elevating women in the next industrial revolution that we're in right now.
Do you feel like you have a lot of female leaders around you in this area, in your community that are similar in
I really do. A lot of the women that I'm in WeBank, if you're not a member of WeBank, you might want to. Are you really?
No, I've heard of it.
You should. Yeah, you should look into it. It's kind of sad that we've lost DEI but I hope that WeBank will survive regardless because the cooperation that can come from having a group of women work together, very well connected, very successful women, having a network together is the key. Okay, it really is. These women are there because of the merit. They've done the work and they know what they're doing. And it's to have a group of women like that is fantastic. Right. But to actually be rising up into a place of leadership for women, I'd love to join you. Yeah. I would love to join you.
Yeah, and we're always learning, right?
Yes.
Like right now, I just started working with a leadership and growth coach. Her name is Linda Lucas, and she's based out of Portland. And I met her last week. I was on a thought leadership trip up to the Pacific Northwest, and I met her last week, and I just immediately connected with her. It was not like love at first sight, but like just a pure total alignment and understanding. And she's, been helping me figure out what are my strengths and weaknesses and, what are some of the spots that I could work on as a leader. And it's uncomfortable and hard work. It's a little scary and, sometimes it's vulnerable. And so I'm really learning to lean into that space and be like, okay, actually, this is where I need to really look at things and reconfigure them for my teams to lead properly.
Yeah, I know. I'm realizing writing the book was the easy part, that actually launching the book and putting it out into the world was the most vulnerable part. Yeah. It really was. Like for me to overcome the fear that comes with just being visible, and that was the biggest one. But, I'm embracing it. And I just was like, Aimee, just have a beginner's mind. Like, let's go. And you don't know what you're going to experience today. I woke up this morning just a regular girl and I'm going to get to go to bed a best-selling author.
Yeah.
And you don't always
Oh my
get days
gosh.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good day.
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you.
That's a big day.
That's a big day.
Yeah. And a lot of people have knowledge, right? But they don't share it.
Yes.
So if people can put your knowledge into action, like that's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
You're passing it on.
And because of the technology that we're in right now, the tech era that we're in, there's never been an easier time to take your knowledge, put it into a book or an ebook or a course. Do it, do the things, pass the knowledge along. If you have it, share it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah. And that's why, I'm a little bit intimidated and shy sometimes to come out and talk about myself because, we always want to elevate other people. And we always want to highlight other people. So
Repegs is such a powerful and timely platform. I feel like we've kind of covered it though.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about what inspired its creation and how do you see it evolving?
I think I did just basically like across the nation.
Yeah.
But I think, how do we run a tech company that is scalable and like what sort of traits do we need? What sort of resources do we need? What kind of support do we need? And we'll be fundraising.
Yes.
So probably by the time this launches, we are in a fundraise.
Fun.
So that is something that's new for me. And I'm super excited about it. If you would have said to me, 3 years ago, Sybil, you need to raise $5 million for a company, I would be like, but I'm a creative director.
Right.
I want to make things look pretty and I want to talk about them in a beautiful way. And so I've evolved to be, a CEO and like, well, what do you do when you're in that position? You stay close to the money. You make sure that you have the operational runway to run, to grow, to scale. And so once I decided to step into that space, I was like, it's like a hell yes, like there is no going back from that.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a new skill and test for me. And it's pitching to a lot of men in the fintech industry.
Yes.
That's a new industry for me.
Yes.
I'm not scared of it. I just want to be prepared. I want to know, as much as I possibly can. And also I surround myself with really smart people. I know what I don't know. I know what I'm good at. I know what my superpowers are. I know where I can use that extra support. And so that's just been a massive, initiative this year for me to get uncomfortable so I can get comfortable again and challenge myself. So taking Repegs to the next level it's a personal thing, it's a professional thing, it's a team thing, it's a tech thing, it's a community thing. Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It's big.
It's so exciting. It's being on the verge like that of doing something really big that's really outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But once you set these like high goals we as women, there are a group of us that set these very high goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to support each other in those goals.
Yeah.
You let me know if you need help raising that money. I love raising money. It's super fun.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I'd really love to get into as my movement grows, to have a separate part of this movement that's about capital for women.
3% of all VC funding. I mean,
goes to women-led companies. It is sad.
It is really sad.
It is sad. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's a hard time right now to raise money.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I mean, 30% would be sad, but 3 is like, are you joking?
Are we even on the radar here?
No, we're not. Is there even, do we have, okay, there's a table for 100 and then we get 3 seats, basically is what it looks like right now. And that's it's not acceptable. And I think that there are a lot of women that are working on this problem right now. And I'd love to see this correct within the next 12 months. Yeah. Because, technology is moving.
12 months?
I give it 12 months.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm down.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Okay. That's another deal. We've got 4 deals going.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's plenty of time, but because technology is moving so quickly, I don't think we have a whole lot of time to wait for a seat at their table. I think we're going to have to build our own when it comes to capital. Yeah. And I have a good idea for that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
I know. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah.
Without capital is the water that grows the garden.
Yeah.
And without the capital, we cannot grow, we will not see these things come to fruition. And
Solento is a male-led company and we had a line. We had a line ready to give us checks.
Of course you did.
And I was like, wow, that was easy one.
That was easy. Yeah.
Not to say that the people who, behind it didn't deserve it. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
But there was a wait list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, and it's fun. And, you know, it's not to say that just because it's female led, we don't have a line out the door, because I believe that within the next 12 months, we can shift the mindset. And I think we can also create the table that allows us to have standing room only, you know, and wait lists to get in on these projects, as women and men both see that, you know, when women have ideas, it's because we see a gap in a market.
Yeah.
And we are the purchasers. The average woman of the household buys 80% of the goods within her home.
It's incredible.
So when we see a gap in the market, it's usually a really good sign that this is going to be a very viable product that we're bringing to market.
And female-led companies are more successful. I mean, the data shows it. So
yes,
there is all of that to back us up as well.
Yeah. I think that the shift is coming swiftly now. I don't think that think it's not far now for us.
Well, I'm inspired to hear all of that from you today. So I'll walk away being like, we've got this.
We've got this.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got this.
Yeah.
And I'll put you in touch with some people. I know some people that are interested in these things as well. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk business building. So a lot of my girls, you know, a lot of our listeners out there maybe haven't done anything yet. So I really want to inspire them. I want to educate them.
Yeah.
You know, so you get an idea, and then what? What did the early days look like? Did you raise capital? Did you have a formal business plan? How did it get going?
Well, Solento started as an all male company, and then I came in and I was like, but hey, you know, women drink tequila. A lot of women drink tequila. Again, back to the health benefits, so to speak. 80% of consumer buying decisions were in Whole Foods, right? So there you go. Like, they can afford it. It's the price point's like over, you know, $60 a bottle. So let's get it in a position where it's speaking to the female audience, and they understand it and they love it and they appreciate the product that we've built for them. So that's how I got involved. I think that you always need a plan, but be okay for a plan to change. Don't be scared to go in an industry you don't know anything about. Sometimes I think that's better, because if you knew all the things behind skincare or the alcohol industry or tech, you know, you might be like weighing the risk. You might say, oh, you know, I don't know, that sounds a little intimidating. So I think just forget all of that and create what you would create, stand behind it, and surround yourself again with really smart people. I think people who have your back, that you trust, who have a track record of doing great things. So it's all about your network, right? Too. It's about who you have to support you, resources, and really cultivating those relationships. So
absolutely.
I mean, it's a little bit of everything, and it really is a state of mind, right? Creating your own business is not for everyone. Yeah. It takes a ton of resilience.
Yes.
One of the things the growth coach Linda is teaching me right now is thrive in VUCA. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
I said thrive or survive. She said thrive in VUCA. So it's volatility, chaos, ambiguity, and uncertainty.
Yeah.
And I did a little sigh and I was like, okay. But I learn quick and I can recalibrate quick. And I'm like, okay, not survive in it, thrive in it.
Yes.
And so now that when things come up, I'm like, how can I thrive in this, as opposed to being like, oh, you know, why is this happening? Being like, this is a challenge for me to level up and go, how can I solve this?
Yeah,
so
totally.
That was interesting. She gave me a list of like 7 characteristics of a great entrepreneur, which I'm happy to share with you.
I would love that. We'll share that in a social media post that goes along with this. Yeah. That sounds great.
And that's the one I stuck on, which means that's the one that seemed to really resonate with me the most. And so that's been a singular focus for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. You know, even for myself, the reason I'm even here today doing this was I also had a success coach and I told her what I wanted to do. I was already writing my book and I was like, you know, I'm writing this book. I would love to do a podcast to go along with it. And she just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me way outside of my comfort zone. But sometimes you need somebody who can do that. For you.
And people who believe in you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You know,
so you're going to be a multimedia company with different channels and everything correlates. And then you're going to be this powerhouse empire that's helping women get funding and all the things.
I really look forward. I look forward to it. I think that is what's needed right now so much. So we're just in a time that's absolutely crucial for women globally.
Yeah.
And it's not, it will start here in the US because we are the privileged women of the West.
Right.
But it really is our duty to elevate the women of the world.
Yeah.
And as we rise, they will rise too. We'll
I
help
used to
them.
start internationally, but now I'm back to national.
Yes. I think we have to do our work here first.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that as we rise here, we're really making a big shift, I think, right now with humanity. And I hope that men see that this is not competition at all. This is a collaboration, a collaborative effort on the behalf of humanity and our planet and the future of our children and our grandchildren.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I always say the systems that hold us back also hold them back, right?
Yeah,
so there's
I
not a
believe
lot of
so.
flexibility in there for things to evolve and change.
Yeah. Like we were talking about earlier, I don't want men to feel threatened by this movement because everyone knows happy wife, happy life. If we can elevate our women, if we can make our women more fulfilled, more happier, more purpose driven, able to live in their purpose, their God-given purpose, like you as a man will be happier because your woman will be happier. And that's what this movement is about.
Yeah.
It's like,
and we need equal footing, right? To move together in a positive way.
Yeah. And it's going to be healthy for everyone, and it'll be healthier for our children and our grandchildren too.
Yeah.
Moving forward in a balanced world.
Yeah. I think the younger generation's like, what do we do? How do we move forward? There's a little bit of defeat. Sometimes, they'll have those days where they're like, what's my purpose? How can I help all the, how can I even penetrate these problems?
Absolutely. And my boys will look at me. I had one of my sons come and go, Mom, are men bad? And I was like, oh my gosh, of course men aren't bad. Men are wonderful. Men have a huge purpose on this planet. It's men are here to help women, and women are here to help men, and we're here to help each other.
Yeah.
Because raising baby humans is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a job for all of us, and it's a job for community and for tribe.
Right.
This is big work, and the work that we're doing on this planet right now to save this planet, it's going to take all of us.
Yeah, it does. And I've learned that lesson lately in a very personal way because I'm such an independent woman. I'm used to doing things on my own. I can do them faster, quicker, all the things, or so I thought.
Right.
And recently I met a wonderful male who's been helping me. And it's really kind of been like a deep sigh of relief of, I have a teammate who actually gets me and supports me in all the ways that I actually need help in. Yeah. And what a relief and what a blessing to have someone who's got my back and to help me take this load off, because it's a lot. So that equal footing and that like teamworkness is just
partnership.
That partnership. I'm like, I don't have to go this alone.
Right?
That was actually harder than I realized.
Isn't it nice? And I feel like that's part of why I wrote the book, was because part of my overcoming me and my female programming, it was like, I have to do this alone, and I have to carry this burden. And it was like, maybe you don't. Maybe you need to learn how to communicate what you're doing, and you need to learn to communicate with other people how they can help you, and how your partner can help you, and how your children can help you. And then you don't have to have resentment, and you don't have to feel like subjugated in your own house.
How did you overcome that program?
I think a lot of it was just, the first step is admitting you have a problem.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Totally. Yes.
And for me,
I've got a couple.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I really had to admit that this was my reality. And I feel like actually writing the book was this therapeutic healing for me of realizing what I was carrying, what this silly weight and these silly ideas that weren't really serving me in a healthy way. And they weren't really helping me build relationships in healthy ways with the people in my home either.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. That's fascinating. Do you have a chapter in the book?
I do.
Because it just came out today and I get my copy soon. But you have a chapter in the book about rewriting your narrative and your programming?
Yeah. Yeah. It's in there. A lot of it is like renaming it too, and realizing that a lot of the things that we do in our home, they are our superpowers. Yeah. So kind of owning that, owning the work that we do in a visible way, taking it out of the shadows. Yeah. My mom used to say, the dish fairy came last night, and it was her way of saying, getting her invisible work to be visible. Yeah. Because there's so much work that we do in our our homes that is invisible.
Yep.
If you're doing it right, no one sees it.
Right.
And I want to shine a light on the work that we do and say, yeah, you're doing this work and you're also doing skilled labor. This isn't just unskilled labor.
Yeah.
A lot of the invisible work within the household is management skills, organizational skills.
CEO of your household.
You are the CEO of your household.
Yeah. I can run a company running this house and all the things and all the emotion and all the
capital and the people and the operating systems and all of the things that go into running a household. If you can run a house, you can run a company. I promise you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a company, you don't have to worry about someone's life. In a house, you literally, people's lives depend on you.
Yeah,
So
it's a basic foundational fundamental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You are obviously a very visual person and you're so consistent, so elevated in your aesthetic behind all your brands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you speak to that? What words would you use to describe this visual aesthetic?
I think classic, like there's a timelessness to it. I definitely, I don't do the graphic design or the art product design. I find the right people to do it. So Solento Tequila had an incredible art director from New York City, one of the best, Javas Lean. And Seau Prima was a art director called Verena, who's done incredible work as well from New York. So they're meaningful in terms of like the color, the names, the product design, the bottle design, and the positioning. So Solento is yellow for the sun. Solento means slow sun, and it's yellow to represent obviously sunshine and the waves. And take it slow is the tagline. So sip the tequila slow, don't overindulge, enjoy it. And then Seau Prima is S for skin, O for water, the French way, and Prima meaning leading because you put it on after you wash your face. And so there's little nuances in each of them that, like, as you get to know, they're simple, they're elegant, they're purposeful, and they're timeless.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's amazing. So much goes into creating a product when it comes to picking your bottles. I love that you chose to use a glass bottle for Seau Prima because there are other brands out there not using its elevated packaging. You're getting exposed to plastics and those kinds of things.
Yep. And then for Repegs as a digital product, we're going to be working with Stanley Hainsworth to elevate our digital product. But basically, it's important to me that whether it's, a physical or a digital, that it's a great experience. Yeah. And so Stanley Hainsworth, he owns Tether Agency in Seattle. I just went to visit him last week. And he was the creative director of Lego, Nike, Starbucks. And he's all about community and has such a great storytelling and brand aesthetic that I'm like, let's take this to the next level, because if we want to go, global and we want to be one of the best companies to work for and we want to help all these communities, what can we do to this baby startup brand to make it really the best, to make it, an iconic cultural,
totally
generator and really impact people the way it could.
So elevating the user interface.
Yeah. Everything user experience. And then I was at Apple headquarters last week doing a tour and with one of the product designers, and he's like, simplicity and focus. Because there's so much you can do, right? There's so many benefits and features, and you probably even have that as you're building your media empire. Like, what are the 3 things I should be focusing on? Because there's about 12 things I can do.
Yes.
And what 3 things can I do the best? Because they all fit into the ecosystem really at the end of the day.
Yes.
But the product designer at Apple was telling me there was a time where they had to decide between touch and face. Like they had to decide. You think Apple can do whatever they want.
Right.
But they had to message it. They had to position it. They had to develop it. So that's all investment of time and resources.
Well, they have the money to do that too. So I know when I was doing Mamalicious, we would watch what the other bigger brands were doing at the time, as far as like what colors are they choosing and that sort of thing, because they have the money to do the R&D on all these things. So you watch the trends. Right. So when Apple chooses something, you follow the trend, because they've put their time and their money into it.
Yeah, but also to know that even today they're still facing that same thing. What should we focus on?
Yeah.
And how to make it simple. Yeah. It's like a constant filter they run through.
Oh, that's one of the best things. And you can use your AI to help you, decide what's going to be the biggest impact. Yeah. If you're having trouble deciding where to put your time, a lot of times you can ask your favorite AI,
just run it through.
Run it through. What should I do?
To know and then make a decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've found that that's, if I'm feeling like I'm not pushing the needle, I can always go back to Chat or Grok and say, hey, help me push the needle here. What's going to be the best use of time?
Do you have an assistant on AI that's working? Have you figured that out yet? That's really like working for you in a way that
I don't have a person. I don't yet. Do you?
No, but I need one. I need about 3. So if you know,
I do know someone who can do that for you.
Yes.
So I'll and I should get one too. Let's do it.
I could just cut out a lot of the admin work that's unnecessary.
Yes. Yes.
Macy knows. I'm like, oh, I've got to do this and that and all the, all the things that make it harder for a small business to really spend time doing visionary things. Like, how can we cut that? Besides your team, but it's certain things that, if you have a smaller business, an entrepreneur wears all hats, and then you've got a team, and you can delegate. But when you're doing 3 or 4 businesses, one's bootstrapped, one's funded.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And you leaning on technology right now is something that's such a gift for us as we're launching our babies. Yeah. Because I really do. I mean, I lean on AI a lot right now to help me get through a lot of the tedium. Mm-hmm. Like you can really automate mundane tasks, and I can't wait until it gets even better. I really do think within the next 12 months, again, that we're going to see massive improvement in, the consumer AI that we're able to use.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Excited for it too.
Because it's exponential growth right now with it. So I'm looking forward to having custom apps for our our phones, which is what I'm hearing is going to come next.
Oh, interesting.
The ability to have custom apps. Generated through AI that can, help you do what you need to do.
Right. Can you take all my notes from everywhere and aggregate them and just pull them from resources and then activate that and do that and all the kind of repetitive things that do on a daily.
Yeah. We need to be able to automate all of the mundane tasks that we're expected to do still. That's where it's at for us as entrepreneurs. Yeah. Somebody figure that out. Please code that for us. What advice would you give to a woman with a big idea who isn't sure where to begin?
Has a big idea. Is that does she have clarity around the idea?
Yeah. See, let's say she has a big idea, she's got clarity, and she feels purpose and intention around this idea and inspiration around this idea.
And she doesn't know where to begin.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's definitely surrounding yourself with a small advisory board of people who maybe are either in that field or in the space where you're not strong, and letting them help lead you to the next step. But it's also, I think, taking it step by step, right? Not getting overwhelmed. You just have to take a digestible bits every day, and you have to start somewhere. But surround yourself with smart people and make a step.
That's always really good advice. Yeah. Surround yourself with good mentors that know more than you do about
and who care about
step.
you and share. They're in alignment with your purpose, and they see where you're trying to go, and it speaks to them. Like, those are the best people to have around you.
That's the amazing advice. Yeah. So you read chapter 1 of the Manage Her. Did anything in that chapter resonate with your own experience?
Yeah. I mean, I think that as a mom of 2 girls, I now have a 19 and 20-year-old. So, I'm empty nesting. I think running the household, running my husband's business as a family business, running my own business, that I was able to, and I also had households all over the world. So we would move to Bali for 5 years with the kids and just start from scratch. And then we would move to Byron Bay in Australia for 5 years and start from scratch. And so I think being able to activate and do those things sort of unknown what the outcome was going to be really prepared me to run companies. And I think that's what you're specifying is, there's so much we do that people don't even understand, all the inner workings of the household, of raising a family, and the resilience and the tired days, and you're folding laundry at 11 and you might want to scream in a pillow and then wake up and you just got to do it again. And, you're also working on yourself. How can I not be that, how can I not yell at my kids, or how can I not snap at my husband? That's your team that you're trying to really, you're growing them, right? You're loving them and nurturing them. So you're learning so much. So when it comes to translating that to a company, I agree. And I actually have never heard it that way. Like house to business. I've heard that women run great households and they're the CEO of their household, but how can they translate those skills? I mean, I did it. So I'm proof that it can happen. And that's exactly, what I did. I built something from the ground up in all cases, and they're all possible.
Yeah.
Easily transferable skills.
Yeah, me too. And that's why I wrote the book. I was like, I can't be the only one who's having this experience.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be the only person who's seeing these, you know, these similarities.
Most people don't take the home and like being a CEO of your company and put them together, but it's totally obvious.
Yeah.
So that's what I really resonated with. And then I'm just excited to read all the other chapters because I did a quick skim of them and I'm like, I relate on this one. There was not a chapter I didn't relate on.
Oh, yay. I can't wait for you to read the whole book. I'm so excited. And then I have one last question. If you could host your dream Repegs gathering with 3 inspiring women, what would the setting be and what intention would you set for the night?
Well, I think just always a beautiful room, right? With like an intimate like dinner and some wine and just like a not overwhelming, but simple. And it's probably more of a connective base to where people can open up. And it's beautiful but casual. I think that would be the vibe. Good music.
Yeah.
The 3 women. Wow. Okay. If I could have anybody at the table.
Yeah. Who do you need right now? Who would you love to have at your table right now?
Trying to think of who would really come and add value, right? Not just are they an amazing artist or stuff, but like who could actually, where can you walk away from that table and be like, wow, that was so inspiring. Well, first of all, my daughters would be there, being able to also get that trickle down effect of women's wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be, I mean, this sounds a little cliche, but Oprah is one, of course.
Right.
I mean, she knows how to build a community. This is Repegs. She knows how to show up for people in communities and be a great listener and grow strong teams and a strong brand that is global and changes people's perceptions and lives. She would be one. I think Melinda Gates, because she's probably seen, not only tech, but human output and what we can do with purpose.
Absolutely.
Cleopatra.
Ooh, yeah.
Cleopatra was not only a strategist, she was, a curator. She cultivated art. She knew how to make a big impact. She could probably throw a great event. She knew how to, she was very well educated. I think the concept of Cleopatra, she was like some seductress of Julius Caesar, but she was so much more than that. And the history books wrote out what she, represented in art and literature and business culture.
Yeah. And skincare. Gosh, I would love to know her skincare routine, wouldn't you?
Yeah. She was a woman well before her time. So
she was.
Actually have an Andy Warhol print of a Cleopatra. And it's in storage in Brooklyn. It just sits there. It's the only thing I remember I have in storage.
Oh, you got to get her up on the wall.
I need a wall. Yeah.
We got to get her a wall.
Yeah. Kind of transient in my living right now. But yeah. So,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
And if I could throw Andy Warhol in there, I would throw him in there too.
Oh my gosh. He's always an interesting dinner guest, I think. Why not?
Experimentation.
Yes.
Great. The unknowns.
Who wouldn't want Andy at their dinner party?
Yeah, exactly.
So Sybil, thank you so much for bringing your depth and your clarity and your mission-driven energy to this conversation. You're helping reshape what leadership looks like and feels like for women across industries.
Well, you are as well. So I feel in good company. Thank you so much. And I look forward to collaborating.
I can't wait to collaborate. It's been such a joy having you here, Sybil. And your story is just a beautiful reminder that we can lead with soul and strategy and that we're more powerful when we're building together.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me.